What we want to do with this image is add a lens flare to make it look like the sun is rising or setting over here on the horizon. I'm working with a document called lensflare.psd, which is available in your resources folder. What we want to do is we want to use the lens flare filter. So come up to the filter menu, and under the filter menu, you can select render, and from there you can choose lens flare. Now, in the lens flare dialog box, you can position your lens flare wherever you want. And what we want to do is we want to position it here at the horizon point of the road in the sky. You can set any adjustment here that you want. I'm pretty happy with these default options. So you can go ahead and click OK. Once you click OK, a lens flare has been added to the document. Now, here's the problem. We added it to the background layer. What if we want to position or change the scale or do something else to this lens flare? Well, we're kind of out of luck there. We locked ourselves into this lens flare at this position because we placed it on the background layer. Ideally, what we'd be doing is we'd be putting it on its own layer. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that, Command-Z or Control-Z on Windows. Let's go ahead and create a new layer. And what we want to do is we want to fill this layer with black. So press D on your keyboard to set the colors to the default colors, black foreground, white background. And then what we want to do is we want to fill this layer with black. And we can do that by using the keyboard shortcut, Option Delete. It would be Alt Backspace on a Windows machine. Now let's go ahead and add our lens flare. If you come up to the filter menu and you choose lens flare, it's going to render that lens flare all over again in the exact same position that we rendered it in the background layer. So we know it's positioned properly. So that was one of the advantages of adding it to the background layer first and then undoing it, is that we could just run it again and place it on its own layer. So this is a great lens flare. The problem is we have all these black pixels. What we want to do is we want to get rid of the black pixels. So we're going to come over to the blend mode drop-down menu. We're going to go ahead and select screen because we can ignore black pixels when we choose screen. And now we have the lens flare in the image. But again, the advantage here is you can highlight the move tool and you can move the lens flare around to reposition it. If you want to scale it or do any other type of transformation to it, you would have that ability. So adding the lens flare to a layer with a black background can easily be added to a background layer by using one of the